Welcome to Heath Riles Barbecue. On today's episode of Shooting the Q, we're going to be cooking Wagyu Picanha. This is my absolutely favorite cut of Wagyu beef. I get this from my good buddy Kevin Green at the Butcher Shoppe in Pensacola, Florida. I'm going to keep it simple today. I'm going to use my hot barbecue rub, a little bit of salt and cracked black pepper. That is it. I'm going to cook it on the Golden's cast iron grill with a little bit of royal oak charcoal. Let's get started. Now we've got our picanha out of the pack and dried off. It's got about a 1/4 inch of fat all the way on this. I'm going to leave this side alone. That's what you're supposed to do to picanha. Now I'm going to turn this over. We've got some sinew and some fat right here. Now I want to get this off so I can get some seasoning on it. So I'm just going to be very gentle. I'm going to go in here and trim this off. All right, once I've got all my fat and sinew trimmed off of here, I want to come back now and look around the edges to see how much fat is around that. I'm actually going to take and trim just a tad of this fat off, just a little bit. Just kind of shave it. It may be a little bit thicker in places, and that's just something you'll have to feel your hand. It don't matter if you leave it thick though. It's not going to hurt anything. And I save all my trimmings from this Wagyu beef. Keep it in Ziploc bags in the freezer, and then I thaw everything out at once and make all ground stuff out of my Wagyu. Mix it with some other meats. Now you can see which way that the grains are running in this. So I cut my picanha up. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut this into pieces. So I'm gonna come right here and cut that down. Come right here and cut that down. That'll give me about 3 equal sized pieces. All right, once we get that done there, let's get some seasoning on it. I'm gonna take my hot rub here. I'm gonna stand everything up and kind of start on the sides. And I'm telling you guys, if y'all see the marbling in this beef right here from the Butcher Shoppe, it's incredible. You're missing out if you hadn't ordered anything from Kevin Green. Now this is salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, paprika, a little bit of chili powder. Got a little bit of everything in it. Now once we kind of get this all on our cutting board, we're going to let it sweat down just a second. But before I start letting it sweat, I want to get a little more black pepper and a little more kosher salt on this. Now believe me, salt is your friend on picanha or on Wagyu beef. I'm only going to do that on the meat side there. We're going to salt it again once we cook it and slice it. And I'm going to let this hang out while my grill comes up to temp, and then we're going to get it on to reverse sear it. Now that we've got our picanha out of the pack, dried off and seasoned, I want to go ahead and get my grill fired up. So the first thing I'm going to do is dump some royal oak lump charcoal in here. Now, as you can see, I have a steel plate divider in this Golden's cast iron, so I'm going to light the fire on one side. I'm going to let my picanha go over here to reverse sear. When it gets so far up, then I'm going to start going back and forth over the fire. As you know, as that fat renders on a picanha, it creates flame. I don't want to direct grill it all the time, but I want that flame kiss, so I'm going to have to work that picanha back and forth, and it's going to be a really good piece of meat. Let's get this couple tumbleweeds in and get it lit up. Our grill is setting at 300 degrees. This Golden's cast iron Kamado style cooker is made out of all cast iron. It holds heats very well. You can see I barely have the damper open down there, only about a finger wide and a finger wide on top. I'm going to go ahead and get these picanhas on, and I'm going to stick a chef's alarm in them to 110 degrees, and I'm going to put it on the cold side over here. My fire's going, so I want to get these on away from the fire. And you notice how I'm sticking my bigger end toward the fire and the smaller end away from it? That's what you want to do. We're going to let this go till it gets 110 degrees, and then we're going to reverse sear them. Should take about 30 to 45 minutes. All right, our picanha has cooked. It's 110 degrees. I'm going to go ahead now, pull it up, let it rest, and turn my grill up to get ready to char these off. One of them was setting at 112, the other one's at 109, 110. I'm gonna go ahead now, get that opened up, open this air up. In about 10 minutes, we're gonna grill these off till they get to about 125, and then we're gonna slice them. All right, now that we've got our Wagyu Picanha strips off of the grill, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm at 500 degrees, I'm gonna start searing them off. Now, remember, you've gotta stay with this. I'm gonna go meat side down first. You can see the amount of moisture in that fat on this. So, I'm gonna get it up here. I'm gonna shut the lid and let it get kind of a char on it for about 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm gonna check it and start turning it in. I wanna get some flames going. Watch this, turn this fat over. Look at that sizzle going on that. What are we looking for? Now, when you start turning that fat over on that fire, that flame's gonna start coming up. You really gotta keep a watch on it. See how these flames are gonna keep kissing, but you gotta be real careful with it. That right there looks perfect to me, that piece. We're gonna go ahead and get a little bit more on it there. I'm gonna go ahead and check my big pieces here. That one's not done. That one's not either. I'm gonna go back to the meat side. I'm just gonna keep it on here and keep washing it and flipping it and give it about another 5 to 10 minutes of flipping and going, and they should be done, and we'll let them rest. Now that our Wagyu Picanha is off the grill, it's rested for about 15 minutes. All we have to do left is slice it, so let me recap. We took a Wagyu Picanha from the Butcher Shoppe in Pensacola, Florida. We got from our good buddy Kevin Green. We took it and rubbed it down in our hot rub and a little bit of kosher salt and black pepper. We put it on the Golden's cast iron cooker over royal oak charcoal at about 300 degrees, and we reverse seared it. When it got to 110, we pulled it, let it rest, cranked the fire up to 550, seared everything off till it got to 125, let it rest for 15 minutes. This is a moment of truth. I made a quick chimichurri sauce. I'll put the recipe up in the link. This is a little bit different than everywhere else because I put a little bit of honey in my chimichurri sauce. It's like a Florida twist on it. It's known in Florida for putting a little bit of honey in chimichurri. So I tried it, I really like it. I'm gonna slice this beef up. We're gonna be ready to eat. Now that we've got everything sliced up, the only thing left to do is put a little bit of kosher salt down. And I'm telling you, it really makes it pop. So the first thing I want to do is take a little bit of this beef and try it on its own with just salt. That beef is good. Man, let's try a little bit of this chimichurri. That is so good. Remember, if you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to like, subscribe, share it, follow along with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now TikTok at Heath Riles BBQ. Thanks for watching.